Matt,
Yes.
it's time to be space pirates in space.
What?
Yeah, you thought that they had pirates on land, they put them on a spaceship.
Wow.
It's freaking crazy.
This is Starfinder, Pirates of Skydock.
Yep, from Gale Force 9. For 2 to 4 players, takes about an hour to play. And we're pirates doing a little heist on this spaceship that's been hanging out at a spaceport. We are inside of it, and we are going to steal it. But we'll have a little competition between us as to who's the best pirate of them all.
Who's going to steal it best?
Exactly, who's going to steal it the most? Who's going to accomplish as many secondary objectives as possible? That's what we're going to find out.
And do we do that by just rushing around the ship, fiddling around with things in our piratey ways?
We're going to charge around, interacting with as many objects as possible, and whoever interacts with the most objects is going to be the winner, basically.
I've played video game.
So
here we are.
Here we are on the spaceship.
Ship of funds.
We've got 2 characters. We've got you, Quig, and me, Altronus.
Altronus.
And you'll notice that at the start of the game, we have this little player board that is covered in these little slided tiles. These represent our abilities, and we will start with a different spread. We've ended up with pretty similar ones to start with, because I haven't picked the characters in a way that's like actually interesting.
But that's fine.
But if you were playing someone else...
You just picked Quig because you said it reminded me of... It looked like me?
Yeah, no.
It's a rat.
You sort of embody kind of like, you know...
I embody a rat?
So we start with different abilities, different characters. Our characters have their own abilities. We start with different little panels on here, and you'll notice they're flippable and upgradable. We're going to be doing that throughout the course of the game, as well as gaining new abilities that we can slot.
I just went from
into
0
our
hands
board.
to 2 hands.
2 hands.
Now that's an upgrade.
2-hand rat. What we're going to do is we're going to first do a planning phase where we draw some loots and some schemes in any combination, as long as we have 2 of them. Loot is going to help us upgrade our little space pirate person, and schemes are going to help us complete these objectives, which are the ultimate goal of what we're doing on this ship.
Right.
Then we're going to have an... Oh, sorry. Before that, I nearly got ahead of myself there. We're going to put these 4 energy cubes on the abilities that we want to activate. So at the start, no choice. We just got 4 abilities. But as the game goes on, we'll have to pick and choose what we want to do.
Got it.
Then we will go back and forth in the action phase, taking these actions one by one. So I might take this action to do a little move. I might take this action to do a little bit of scheming. I might take this action to do a little bit of interacting. And then you'll see around the ship you have some spaces that will give you opportunities to collect loot, some spaces that will give you opportunities to collect schemes, and some spaces that will let you interact with them to do little bits and bobs. If you manage to do these objectives, you're going to get a bunch of endgame points called glory, which are these big green ones, and you can even ask your pals for some help doing these schemes, but you'll get fewer points.
Hey, help me eliminate the security forces.
I can't read these upside down, so they could be incredibly sinister.
Install the back door into the system.
Yeah, I'll do that any day.
I feel like that's a one-person job, personally.
Well, you get much more points, many more points, if you do it on your own. If you share it, you get secret shared points, which aren't quite as good.
Okay.
Also, what's going to happen is between rounds, we're going to have guards that are going to flood into the ship that are going to make it harder for us to do things. You'll see this little -2 modifier. A bunch of cards in the game have little skill checks at the bottom down here, so you can bin scheme cards to increase your skill checks, but things like encounters might have like rolls. This one doesn't. These are all bad examples. I should have maybe rigged the deck. Here's a good example. This bad boy.
That one's a good example.
Has a 14
Quick.
plus.
Disable the engine safeguards.
Do it now!
Quickly, because the guards are coming.
Also, over the course of the game, what we'll have is if you are in a room with a guard, the alert level is going to rise, making certain checks a little bit harder and spawning more guards into the ship.
I'm doing it wrong, but I don't care. Everyone's panicking.
Eventually, what we're also going to do is we're going to get closer and closer to launch, which is this final space within the ship where we steal the ship. And then whoever did the best heisting is
Capitane.
the winner. There's a couple more really cool things that I thought I'd point out just before we finish this little preview. You also have, if you take damage from the guards, oh no, I've taken damage. What happens? Do I die? No. You just lose some of your critical functions. You have these ability tiles here. You're going to roll the dice and you're going to cover them up with these.
Oh, so Tom, you've just described basically most of my 30s. Am I going to die? No, I'm just going to lose some of my critical functions.
I'm just going to not be
I'm making peace with that.
Quite as good as I used to be.
So that's not good. My whole board has gotten covered in X's.
Yeah, and now you just can't do them anymore.
I can't. I've lost my hands, I've lost my legs, and all I've got is little box +2.
Or ability to scheme.
Scheming.
That's a cool little thing. And the other cool little thing I wanted to point out, you also have these little secret backer cards that will give you a little bonus ability depending on who you've collected. You get one of those at the start of the game.
Backing you. It's Aslanti de Factor. I started reading that as if it was a name, but actually it's clearly a race. I'm not familiar with the setting of
With the lore.
No. Although I would say, I think the coolest thing about this is the little dice.
The little out of focus skull on the dice.
A little slightly out of focus skull.
Here we go. Here we go.
Skull.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah,
it's a nice little. It's a nice little dice.
Yep, some really nice production on this one. I really like the fact that you're sort of doing this cooperative thing, but you're kind of doing it competitively.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. That is Starfinder, Pirates of Skard.
It's hard to pronounce.
It's hard to say.
Skydock.
It's not hard to say.
Skydock.
We're just
Pirates of the Skydock.
sleepy. Me and Matt had a little nap before this one. Can you tell?
It was nice.
Bye.
Bye.